punk rock hiker. It's a bank holiday Monday. We've completed 1 week back at work, relatively unscathed. Although the hiker is feeling his age, getting up at 6 a.m. Not that I was lazy bastard during summer, usually up 7, 8 o'clock. But at the risk of sounding all Johnny Rotten in his butter adverts, i.e. old man, I miss my afternoon naps. So I need to get match fit again. I want to refocus my mind on the balance between work and life. Work is one thing. It has set parameters, set outcomes, set goals. It can be boxed off. Life is everything else. And I think I've been guilty in the past of seeing work-life balance as being work and parts of life, allocating parts of life to my children, my relationships, walking, camping, eating, doing nothing sometimes. It is time truly wasted if you enjoy wasting it. And for me, there's a kind of statement of intent that I'm bound to fall down on because I'm shit at it. That the work-life balance needs to be about the ring-fenced work side of things and a balance within my life. Being attentive to as many different parts of it as I can without unduly adding to the level of pressure I place on myself in the act of trying to do so. So today, Bank Holiday Monday, I think it's 25th of August. It's a beautiful day, it's going to hit 27 degrees. I figured I would take the 2-minute walk from my place of residence to the riverside, bear right, and walk towards Benningborough Hall, all the way along the river. It's a lovely walk. However, I'm not a massive fan of there and back again walks. I much prefer circular routes. I seem to be building up in my head something negative about there and back again walks. So I need to be mindful of that and work on it because it's all green prescription, it's all therapy, it's all punk rock hiker. No idea if you saw that because my camera's strapped to my bag. Let's pass under this concrete behemoth and then head out into greenery. Literally 7 minutes from my house and we're hitting loveliness. Excuse the manhandling of the camera. So I removed it from the buckle. You don't need to know that. Great narrative, John. What an amazing YouTuber. Enthralling your viewer. I'd have loved this as a kid. Ooh, dens. And of course it would have been a secret den that no one knew about. Just me and my mates, my gang. And talking of YouTubers, interestingly, recently I don't subscribe to a lot of YouTubers. To be fair, the algorithm sends enough my way without having to subscribe. But interestingly, two of those that I do follow fairly closely have landed for me recently, and one was a guy called Outdoor Boys, Luke something or other. Awesome channel. Have a look on there, but in particular maybe have a look at his very final one. He's recently posted a clip that said he's giving up for a while. He's got masses and masses of subscribers and followers, like off the scale, and he deserves it all because he's incredible. When you follow his backstory, not only is he incredible as a sort of outdoors guy, family man, whatever else. God, can you imagine living there? He's also got his own law firm, kids, wife, etc. But he's made the decision to knock his YouTube channel on the head, maybe forever, maybe for a while, but just because it had got so big. And he was saying, the impact, not just in terms of uploading clips and editing and what have you, but of so many people knowing of him and thinking they know him through his channel. People coming up to say hello all the time. So he decided, and I'm misquoting him here, but he decided it's best to end something before it becomes a problem, rather than end it after it's become a problem for his kids, privacy and so on. And I really admire that, because the majority of YouTubers, online influencers, etc., they chase that. They want to be the biggest. They want to be the Mr. Beast. And he'll have made a fortune, millions from it, definitely. No problem. He'll have made millions from it, so he's comfortable. But he's decided to knock it on the head before fame turns nasty for him. Really admire that. And the other one's a more local one. Log hoppers, nomads in the UK, people who live full-time outdoors. And their most recent clip saw the female partner working on a gravestone of a client of theirs, tidying it up, and the male in the partnership talking a little bit about their journey as YouTubers and how it took off. And they are really sort of self-sustaining. I'm calling them hippies. They started out with their YouTube channel as a way of their family seeing them, keeping in touch with them, seeing what's going on for them. But it took off, it skyrocketed, and they talked very candidly about how easy it was for them to slip into that becoming all-consuming, chasing the content, chasing the viewers, the likes, the subscribers. And they've taken stock of that as well and made a public statement of returning to their roots. They felt obliged to be posting stuff for you, the viewer, rather than for them. They felt the pressure of, again, in their lifestyle, when they do hit more built-up areas, people stopping them and talking to them, which on the one hand is lovely, but on the other hand, you don't know who the person is that those people are who are coming up to you. Yes, the majority friendly, but you never know. So they too are sort of stepping back, taking stock and returning to their roots. It's not a problem I've got with my 25 subscribers, or whatever it is, I'll check later. But I really like that ethos, that principle, in the face of every other influencer, YouTuber edict of more. They're backing off. And I know they will find a piece in that, a cautionary note for the future, perhaps.
Can we pull up on left over that?
Abruptly, the sound ceased. It's the wrong way around, isn't it? Abruptly, the silence ceased. Yeah, this'll do, won't it? Literally been walking for about 10 minutes, 12 minutes. So looking, so blessed. You'll hear me harping on a lot about that in my videos. Which leads me on to a kind of salient point, really. Gratitude, being blessed and being grateful for that. These are important things. They are important things to the punk rock hiker. I find as I get older, my mindset is shifting because I'm drawing on my experience, and I realise just how easy it is to be negative in our mindset. And our mindset can then dictate our behaviours and our beliefs and so on. And I'm actually using that against itself now. I'm very aware of my negative narratives, my negative language, how that manifests, what it sounds like. So I kind of use that awareness of it to catch myself, and when I recognise I'm being negative in my language, mindset and thoughts and so on, I use that as a little flag. Oh, John, you've been negative, pack it in, knobhead. And in doing that, I then try and flip things in positive. So just a very basic example. I came back from Rhodes, a family holiday, about a month back. There's a gift and a blessing to be able to do that. But I caught a airline cough straight after it, sharp throat and what have you. And that developed into COVID. Recognised it straight away, having had it pretty bad. The original version, still the original and worst. And then that develops a racking cough, low energy, all that kind of stuff. Chest pains. I'm very good at catastrophizing my health as well. So it wasn't just chest pain from coughing non-stop for 3 weeks. It was a collapsed lung. It was cancer. It was heart attack. It was, you name it, that's what it was. I knew I was doing it, so I tried to manage that in the best way I could. That's then developed into a, you might be able to hear it in my voice, I don't know, a cold that's been going on for a long while, and I'm filled up with decongestants. And forgive me, but punk rock hiker, the amount of orange snot, unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. And I like my food, and I've lost my sense of smell. My sense of taste's been impacted as well. I can still taste things on the periphery of my tongue, but not like before. But my sense of smell's gone, and I'm gutted. It's like cooking a steak last night, me and Caroline, couldn't smell it. Aftershaves I've bought, put them on, can't smell. I don't know if I stink. Being out here, I can hear a lawnmower, can't smell cut grass. So in terms of blessings and gratitude, pissed off at that, but do you know what? Catching myself being pissed off and being negative, flipped it around. If I were to lose any senses, if I was given the opportunity to choose one of my senses to lose, it's not going to be sight, it's not going to be sound, touch, smell, it's going to be, taste, sorry, it's going to be smell. Of all the senses, that's the one that, although it does have its obvious importance, that's the one I'd rather lose. So I'm actually quite grateful that that's all that's happened. Chest's feeling better, snot is running out now. Maybe the sense of smell will come back, but that's not in my hands. If it does, it does. Blessings and gratitude. You know it makes sense. And also not being envious. There's a time I'd have looked over there at that dude that you might not be able to see with the sun shining on you, mowing the lawn, just now next to the river with the chairs on these little pontoon. Looks like a little boat house. Loads of land, trees, massive house, little pod up there. Jealous, aspirational, maybe one time, but you know, lads worked for it. Families work for it, they deserve it. And paradise is rarely what it seems to be. His garden floods all the time, there may be rats and everything. He's got to pay that bloody mortgage. Bet he's already paid it off. Not jealous at all. But yeah, I'm happy for him. Because I'm happy for me. That's punk rock, innit? I love sunlight on water, it looks beautiful. Like stars on the land. Gobby swan over here giving it a laldy. Yeah, you shut up now, you're on camera. Oh yeah. I hope that's not fishing wire in its mouth. And there's lads having a bit of shelter looking shade. Alright lads, tell me what do you reckon? Never mind the bollocks. Seminal album or a construct like the Bay City Rollers? Yeah, I knew you'd think that. Bloody sheep. Well, this looks particularly pretty, doesn't it? Hobbiton. Across the river there is, I think, Red House Woods. And Benningborough just there. A couple more wiggles of the river and I should get to a nice sandbank area near Benningborough Hall, where I plan to have a sit for a little while, have some nosebag, pontificate and enjoy the scenery. That's really pretty, I love that. And I do like a willow. So many places along here I thought, oh, you could camp there, you could wild camp there, you could wild camp there. And it looks pretty safe and impressive, but of course it'll all be farmland. But who knows? Look at these knobheads. Speed limits on the river? Nah, that's punk rock, innit? Punk rock hiker moaning about fucking boats going too fast on the river. Old fucker. Although to be fair, if I were piloting it with my kids on it, I'd be doing the same. I'd not be harping on about river speed limits and bloody riverbank erosion. I'd be getting off with my kids, having a laugh and enjoying it, and being the dad. How times have changed. I was once a 16-year-old who would go out of his way to annoy the hell out of people in the most immature and ridiculous ways under the banner of punk rock. Purposefully just chucking me rubbish in the street in front of all people because I knew it'd annoy them and spark up a convo of some sort. Having this massive ghetto blaster used to eat batteries. This is pretty. Listening on tape, because that was a thing. To never mind the bollocks on full blast, especially bodies going down Coney Street. You know the part, if you're familiar with the song, would turn every tourist and resident and shopper's heads as it got to the infamous part. Been challenged by people for the clothes I wore, all done on purpose under the auspices of punk rock. Whereas really, it was a young kid communicating and trying to find a definition in the world that he lived in. Look at this. This looks bonny. Let's have a sit. Not for long. Nice. If I lived there, I won't be far from home, I would spend every summer's evening sat here. I really would. Camped out here, looking at the stars, sheltering under the willow. But I don't live here, so I can't do that. Look at that. That's bonny. Love it. therapy. Don't think we're far now. Have some nozzle soon. Last stretch, I think, before Edinburgh Beach, I'll call it. Hauls up that way, you can't see it through the trees just yet. The last stretch was a little bit interesting, thorns and nettles. Who was hiking in the King Hills? Me, punk rock hiker. It's been a steady walk. Chilled, enjoyable, bit dull in places if I'm honest. It's in those dull moments I find I disconnect from everything. So is it really dull? I don't know. Let's check the old Milerinos. 5.5 miles to here. In about an hour and a half-ish. Which isn't bad going, given I'm not rushing. Just vibing along. Stopping and enjoying the views and things like that. Looking forward to sitting about to eating a drink. I'm also quite interested to see what my mindset will be like retracing my steps, which I said at the outset I don't like doing. Much prefer a roundy walk. I think I will change it where I can. I can veer off the river track towards, is it Coulton, and round that way. It's a minded detour, but at least it's a bit different. But yeah, let's see what the mindset brings. Alright, I'll be back at you in a minute when I get to Edinburgh Beach. Edinburgh Beach. It's time for some nose bag. A little sit down before heading back. People. Alrighty, so some brief nose bag down at what shall be forever known as Edinburgh Beach. Not been this side of the river before. Usually go the other side, back through Red House, Poppleton, that kind of thing. But from previous journeys, I know it gets really popular and busy there with families and things. As indeed it was today, which ain't what I'm about. People. So, let's head back. The return journey. See what the mindset's like. See what the views are like. And maybe mix it up a little bit as well. Catch you in a little while. Yeah, this is a bit unexpected. I'm finding myself getting a bit angry as I walk back. I've been thinking about the journey, heading back, the whole walk. And I've kind of been thinking, how am I going to wrap my video up? What's going to be the point of it? And then that made me think about, what was the point of this walk? What was the point of it? What is the point of it? There is no point to it. Arguably, yes, fresh air and exercise. But that's not why I did it. Arguably, I get to upload a YouTube video, but that's not why I did it either. This is coincidental to that. I bring this along. And I realised that I think There's no point. I've done something that had no point to it. And maybe that's why I feel a bit angry. But then I find myself getting really confused. Because my mind then maps off into, well, alright, if you're looking for a point for this, fair enough, but what else would you have done today? I could have done anything, I suppose is the answer. I could have got my canvases out and acrylics and painted something. I could have studied. I really want to get further into transactional analysis. I love that. So I could have done some study around that. I could have gone and seen my children. I could have gone to see my partner. Gone to the cinema. I could have done anything really. And I chose to do this. What I believe at the minute is a pointless exercise. Doesn't mean I haven't enjoyed it, but it feels pointless. As I think about the fact that I could have done anything else, I'm also got this mind worm of a concept that had I not done something, then I may have ended up doing nothing. I'm no gamer by any means. My console's an Xbox 360 and I love playing the old games. But I've got back into playing Dead Island, Riptide. Love it. And I could waste hours just doing that. And I enjoy it as well. Apart from the nagging guilt of I could have been doing something else. I could have been doing something else. Which is exactly the same as on this walk. I could have been doing something else. I'm really winding myself up with this. Getting quite angry about it. I don't know why. I'm thinking words like futility, pointlessness. I'm thinking just random words. Excuse me while I go over this style. Passing of time. I don't know. It feels like there's something else I could have been doing, should have been doing, ought to have been doing. When I talk to my students about the words should and could, particularly should, you should do this, you should do that. That speaks to external looks of evaluation. In order to be a good boy, you should play with guns, dress up as cowboys, play with cars, not dolls. You should act this way. I'm waffling. I was hoping this clip here was going to be a bit sort of therapeutic for me. Give me the chance to verbalise some stuff, but if anything, I just feel more stuck. Yeah, just stuck. Maybe that's the point. That's something I'll mooch on between this clip and next, maybe. And I might not bore you with it. Oh, willow tree. Might not bore you with it. But maybe there is something about sitting with stuckness. Not trying to change it, but accepting that I feel stuck in a pleasant place, as well as unpleasant places. But maybe there's something about finding some form of comfort in what I perceive to be discomfort, stuckness. I've waffled on loads. Even I'm going to get bored watching this back when I edit it. Punk rock hiker. Let's see where I go in my head next day. Thanks for bearing with me. No, that's not fucking working either. Stupid fucking hippie nonsense mindfulness bollocks. Bollocks. I am bored. I am bored. Bloody bored. Bloody bored. I am bloody bored. I am bloody bored. Bloody bored. Bloody bored. Punk rock hiker. Boredom. The word stenciled on the back of Paul Simonon's trousers in shots by Jill Furmanovsky. Was it the Buzzcocks wrote a song called Boredom? Boredom, boredom. Johnny Rotten's louse younger self. Boring. Punk rock hiker my ass. People. In summary, today I am feeling lost to myself. Aside from the machine that is my human body walking me along this path, I feel no connection to anything. I feel very little. And that's quite boring. Maybe today, and I've harped on about this before, I walk to get away from stimuli, emails, phones, that kind of thing. Maybe today, there's a part of me missing that. This is beautiful, this is peaceful, this is refreshing, and I am fucking bored. So, to wrap up this punk rock hiker YouTube clip, that unlike the walk, which has been there and back again, has been meandering and dull. Any final thoughts? Truth of it is, no final thoughts. No words of wisdom, no sage advice to self or others. No pointed barb. No witty repartee, self-deprecation. Nothing to give you, peeps. Nothing to give you. And therein lays the rub. An untidy end. Not neat and boxed off, all fully punctuated and full stopped in an attractive font that gets to a point made earlier and neatens it all off. It is a loose, frayed rope of an end to a very untidy, unmessy, that would be tidy, wouldn't it? A very messy, rambling, what will be by the end of it, 12, 13 mile walk that, as I said earlier, has no point and that has stopped me from doing other things which I wouldn't have done anyway. So in true Ransom Note style, today the punk rock hiker signs off in an untidy manner. Fuck you very much. And now the end is near. Absolutely hanging. 10 miles, heat bouncing down. MRE for dinner. That's all he has. So I think it's time to stop in at good old Hickory's for a nice cold pint.